touch on before the end of the stream, guys, and that is Liverpool versus Manchester United. It's going to get talked about plenty this week. It's the return game. United coming to Anfield. They haven't won at Anfield since January of 2016 under the management of Louis van Gaal. It's been a long, long time for Manchester United before they've been able to get anything positive at Anfield. But that doesn't necessarily mean that every game is easy. I mean, we saw last season, the season before, United turn up at points, and no matter the form, no matter the situation, they always give us a nightmare. And actually this season, they've scored 7 goals but conceded 11, but they've actually had the most shots in the Premier League, more than any other team. And against Liverpool right now, who defensively, David, like our structure's a little bit hit and miss, committing too many men forward, bit exposed at the back, no sort of real structure at times. Against the United team, who, yes, are in poor form, but having the most efforts at goal of any team, there's got to be a worry there, surely.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they showed last season that even though they were absolutely dreadful, they still managed to turn up at Anfield and put in a good performance. And I thought they were good, by the way, as much as Liverpool were poor. It was one of United's best performances last season. So, you know, they're capable of doing it. They're going to be highly motivated to come to Anfield and get a result. And as you say, they can get shots off. I mean, it's no surprise, is it, that the team that's getting the most shots off, they've created the most expected goals as well. A team that got criticised for signing the 2 biggest XG overperformers last season in Cunha and Mbeumo is now massively underperforming their expected goals. I mean, who could have seen that coming, eh? I don't know what they're paying their analysts there for. But yeah, the problem is for Liverpool is that, United can create chances, and maybe this is one of the games where the shots go in for them. So you've got to account for that. You've got to stop them getting shots. You've got to defend well, and that's not something Liverpool have done particularly well so far this season. So they've got to be very, very wary of that. But I also think the beauty of this game from Liverpool's perspective is that United aren't that great. But it's still got that kind of big fixture feel, and it always will do. So, Liverpool coming into this under a bit of pressure, 3 defeats on the bounce. You're back at Anfield in front of your home crowd. You're playing a team that's got that huge profile, but it isn't really massively threatening. Just go and wipe the floor with them, and it will just change the feel around the season immediately. Liverpool, then it will be like, okay, if they get a good result and a good performance, right, they're in a title race here. They're only 1 point off top, or whatever happens with Arsenal that weekend. Mm-hmm. They're right back in it now. They're starting to play well. Things are starting to click. It could just completely change the feeling, really. So I think this is a game to look forward to for Liverpool. One where it's kind of, let's go out there and make a statement and show that we can recover from that really bad week prior to the international break. And this tranche of fixtures coming up, which is a really crucial one, we can start it in the right way.
No, you're absolutely spot on. And there were people saying, look, United's not the best game to come back to because we've seen what they've done even when they're in poor form. That Louis van Gaal team that beat us in 2016 was pretty dross. I think that's the season he got sacked, actually, if I remember correctly. And they still managed to beat us. And Klopp's final season, they managed to turn up, get results, FA Cup, of course, the league. But at the same breath, like you said, there's no better team to be playing right now in terms of what the event is. Like, it's a massive fixture for us. And for Arsenal, who are playing at Fulham away, which is not an easy ground to go to, there's a real chance for us to assert ourselves. Given the knocks, before we let you shoot, David, like given the knocks, given the injuries, given the sort of all the stuff that's going on around the squad at the moment, what's the best starting lineup that we can pick for this United game? What's the best way to take apart Ruben Amorim's Manchester United at Anfield? A bit of a loaded one, but
yeah, no, I had to think about this, and I think obviously it's Mamardashvili in goal. I think Conor Bradley's still the best right back. I think Kanate fit, Van Dijk, Kerkez. I think you've got to kind of just try and get that back four relationship going. So stick with that at the moment. I think in midfield, I think I'm right in saying the best performance of the season so far was Atletico Madrid for me, and I believe I'm right in saying it was Szoboszlai and Gravenberch as the deeper two there with Wirtz in front of them.
Yes,
I wouldn't be against seeing that. I think, and then maybe you Gakpo, Isak, and Salah then as your front three. Although, after saying that, I've just read it out loud in my head. I'm kind of thinking, actually, I think I want the midfield to be Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, Curtis Jones, because I think McAllister's form at the moment. I think Jones has been good of late and deserves a start. It gives a really solid basis there. Gakpo's form is maybe tempting me to put Wirtz on the left-hand side, Isak and Salah as your front three, actually. So that's my final answer. I think I'm going with that.
Was that Wirtz on the left hand side? Yeah, was that?
Yeah, Wirtz on the left-hand side, Isak and Salah, and then your Jones, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch as your midfield three, which I think sounds pretty solid and a good mix.
You're such a proponent of the Wirtz on the left hand side, and you've heard so many people who are like on and off about it, and ahhing about whether it's good enough. But you're very like steadfast. No, left wing for Wirtz, do great things from there.
I just think just watching him last night against Northern Ireland again just kind of reaffirmed it that, it gives him the space to build up the pace to run at people. And when he's doing that, then it's very difficult for them to defend him. And, I think it would even help Kerkez a little bit, in terms of just get him up down that left-hand side to create some space, allow Wirtz to kind of work his magic. He's really good at those kind of dinks to the far post, in much the way Gakpo is, by the way. But Gakpo's form's not been great recently. And so, maybe I'm being unfair because Wirtz hasn't either. So, but, this big money signing, there's magic in his boots. We know we can get more from him. So I'm kind of just want to get there as quickly as possible, really, with him. So that's kind of my thinking. I just think he can work. And I think a big game like this is a really kind of good excuse to kind of try that one out. And I also think actually with United having kind of two in the middle, if Wirtz kind of drifts inside, you can almost have a 4v2 in there. With the three that Liverpool have got as starters as well. So, that could give Liverpool real foothold to kind of dominate the game from there, really. And, if they do that, I don't think United are very good. So, yeah, that's kind of my thinking around it. Of course, Slot will do something completely different, and he will probably definitely be right, and I will be wrong. But yeah, I'll give it a go as an amateur manager there.
But look, this is why we all debate it. We all say things. Some of them are right, some of them are wrong. Liverpool and Man United, one of the biggest games of the season. You've heard it from David there. Wirtz left wing. I've got no issue with it. I've got no problem. And I appreciate the fact as well that Curtis Jones, you gave him like some appreciation there. Very, very underappreciated player, I feel like, by a lot of people in terms of what he brings to the game for Liverpool. And in this type of match, maybe you need that kind of player who will, at times, slow things down, just keep things steady, keep things ticking along. I've got no issue with it. But that is going to conclude things, ladies and gentlemen. Just want to say a massive thank you again for David for coming on, for putting up with my rambling for this video. If you are new around here, if you haven't done it already, make sure to like and subscribe to Anfield Index. Head over to itwasalwaysliverpool.com, the Substack, for plenty of content around Liverpool Football Club. And if you're not doing it already, go follow David on Twitter. You'll know who David is. That's not even up for debate at this point. But thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you all soon for the next stream coming later on today. Thank you very much.